Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. There is a lot to talk about in this video. Arsenal are trying to sell the second deal, which will make it 100 million spent in this week. Mikel Arteta and Edu are trying to close 100 million pound deals in this week. We'll be talking about that. I will give you an update on Declan Rice, because Fabrizio Romano says that Kovacic going to Manchester City, it is now a done deal, and that is a game changer. It really changes everything. It really changes the competition on this. They'll be talking about Julian Timber as well, because that is the signing that Arsenal could make that could actually rise the figures to 100 million spent in 1 week. We're going to be diving into much of that. Monaco have also come in for Thomas Partey. I don't think they can give us the money we want, but they're also there. They're trying to bid. They're trying to fight competition of the Saudis. I don't think they will actually win Thomas Partey's signature with the kind of money the Saudis are offering, but they want him and they feel they can get the deal done. Arsenal have been linked with Axel Disasi from Monaco. It might not be a coincidence that we're linked with Axel Disasi and Thomas Partey is linked with Monaco. It might be kind of PR, but we'll be talking about that as well. And of course, Ike Gundogan is now a done deal to FC Barcelona. That is confirmed. We'll be also reacting to the news of Sandro Tonali joining the Premier League. He will be joining Newcastle. What a player. What a signing they are getting this summer. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well, and let me know in the comment box below, how do you feel about Arsenal moving quickly, spending 100 million, almost 100 million in 1 week. If we sign Julian Timber for around 40-45 million euros, and we have now signed Kai Havertz for 67.5 million. How do you feel Arsenal spending in excess of 100 million on two players in just 1 week? Does it show the seriousness we've been asking for from this football club? Does it show the ambition? And does it show that we might be just waking up? We might be just starting to act like a big club. Let me know in the comment box below your thoughts and opinions. Let's get this video to 500 likes, of course. Now, let's start off with just a simple update on Bukayo Saka. Of course, I think in his last game with the international game with England, he scored a hat-trick, his first ever hat-trick. For England, and his first ever hat-trick in his career. Is just 20, he's just 19 actually. So there are going to be more career hat-tricks for Bukayo Saka, but he's got a hat-trick. And the point there I want to talk about is the manager, Gareth Southgate, actually said that he's been playing with an injury. He's had an injury for weeks, but then he said, if you're going to be such a top player, if you're going to be a top quality player, those are things you've got to work with. You're going to have injuries for days, you're going to have injuries for months, you're going to have an injury for weeks as well. And look, I think we've talked about Kai Havertz and the role he will be playing at Arsenal. I'll be releasing a video about how new signing, Kai Havertz will line up at Arsenal and how he impacts our system. But I think we must think about a regular player who can rotate with Bukayo Saka. Southgate says Saka's had an injury for weeks, and that might actually explain why he was really out of form during our last games of the campaign. He was really very poor. He was afraid to take on players. He was very afraid to make those runs. He was very afraid to I didn't feel we had the Saka we had the whole season. And we didn't have the same Saka towards the end of the season. There was a difference. And now it is being revealed that he was playing with an injury. Gareth Southgate says he's had that injury for weeks. And he needs some time to get some rest. And probably July, because I don't even see how these players are going to rest. Today is the 22nd of June, 8 days to go till the end of the month. They will have those 30 days. But during those 30 days in July, they have a game against FC Nuremberg. They have a game against Manchester United. They have a game against FC Barcelona. There is an Emirates FA Cup, an Emirates Cup game against Monaco, I think. And we also have the Community Shield. That is before the beginning of the season. So for me, the better thing to do is find a much better quality player we can rotate Saka with. But hey, it is nothing serious. According to Gary Southgate, he's just had an injury for weeks, and he thinks he will knock it off with this now break of season that we are actually having. Right, so let's dive into Mikel Arteta and Edu's plans this week. They are working on deals worth 100 million, and they're working to seal at least another deal this week. Arsenal will have spent 100 million in 1 week. It's one of the things that we've never heard of. It's one of the things that don't actually from the conversations of Arsenal fans and Arsenal fan bases. I mean, around, I think 10, 20 WhatsApp groups, Arsenal WhatsApp groups. I've never had Arsenal, fans having the conversation that if we sign players worth 100 million, especially within a space of 7 days, it's going to be incredible. I mean, we know that PSG can. We know that Barcelona have done that before. We know that Madrid can do that. But Arsenal spending 100 million within 7 days, it's absolutely crazy. So of course yesterday we completed the signing. We now have a total agreement in principle with Chelsea and the player to sign Kai Havertz. That is done, that is dusted. Medicals are already scheduled, medicals are already set. He will become an Arsenal player very, very soon. It will depend on Arsenal's timing and when they want to announce the player. But right now, Edu is working on a second deal and is working to seal Julian Timber from Ajax. Now, Arsenal feel that is a very, very much easier deal to do. And I really cannot say no. I really cannot... I don't think I have the balls to go sign Rice before Julian Timber. I think the Julian Timber deal is very, very, very easier. The Julian Timber deal is much quicker. It can be done much quicker. And Edu feels like that too. And he's going to be sealing deals worth 100 million in a space of 7 days. Now, today, Fabrizio Romano has been talking about the Timber situation on coachoffside.com in his daily, is it a daily interview or weekly interview? I mean, like, I just see a lot of content from Fabrizio Romano on Coach Offside. I think he's always there, maybe twice a week, maybe thrice a week. I'll try to find out for you. But he's been giving us an update on the Julian Timber update, and he said at the moment the representatives of Julian Timber feel Arsenal is a good project for young players, and young players are really treated very, very well at the side. That is why they don't feel Bayern is a very good destination, and they are locked onto a move to join Arsenal Football Club. Fabrizio says that at the moment they will look at that Ryan Gravenberch example, and it will deter them from signing for Bayern Munich. Julian Timber will look at Ryan Gravenberch. Of course, Gravenberch for me is, I don't know if he was a little bit overhyped, but in my opinion, I could see him as the next Patrick Vieira. The guy is tall, the guy is a bowler, the guy is strong, he's very intelligent, he's aware of space. I just like Ryan Gravenberch, to be honest, right? But because he's gone to Bayern, and then he's had such a very, very pitiful season where he's not been given opportunities, and even when the opportunities have come, they've come in such a very, very dispersed manner. They will feel Timber doesn't have to go there. Right? And I think there is a little bit of mayhem and turmoil at the Allianz Arena. Yes, it's not that big. They will eventually sort it out. But I think at the moment, Timber is only 22 and is looking to develop his game. He's looking to, step his game up. And that is why he's chosen to join Arsenal. So Fabrizio says at the moment, of course, Kim Min-jae is the priority for Bayern. Of course, look, this just puts Bayern in a very, very difficult situation. One, it means that they will have to wait until Kim Min-jae's, military training is done in South Korea. That is number one. And after that, right, after him completing his military training, they also have to wait for his release clause to become active, which is in July. Okay, so I think before then, Arsenal trying to sign Julian Timber because Kim Min-jae is Bayern's priority, and at the moment, they Arsenal feel they are leading this race. Bayern have not yet decided whether they will sign Julian Timber. Of course, both players are available for the same amount of money, but for me, Kim Min-jae if you're looking for a solid centre back, a guy that does not have all these I can play as a right back, I can invert. You're just looking for a straightforward centre back, a guy to replace Dayot Upamecano, who has been a disaster at Bayern. Kim Min-jae would be the better option. Of course, it would be the better option so that they don't disturb us on our deal. Now, the other potential as well is to seal the Declan Rice deal. Now, in the next 48 hours, that seems very okay. Not 48 because we have Saturday and Sunday. That makes it 48 times 2. I mean, 4 more days to the end of the week. But again, David Sullivan. I was listening to TalkSport, and Simon Jordan was saying that David Sullivan is not one of those negotiators that are going to easily let Declan Rice go without a bidding war. They will wait for a bidding war. They will wait for Manchester City. They will wait for Manchester United. They will wait for all these other clubs to at least show interest and put Arsenal under a lot of pressure. So if David Sullivan is going to keep on rejecting our bids because he's, in his mind there is another club behind the curtain, then in my opinion, Edu is right. Go and sign Julian Timber, seal our 100 million moves, and then we can focus on the big deal. But the update on Declan Rice today in the morning from Fabrizio Romano is that the Manchester City signing Mateo Kovacic, which is a done deal, absolutely changes everything. It changes the dynamics of this deal. One, City are now not in that position of desperation to spend over 100 million on Declan Rice. Yes, Ilkay Gundogan has left them for FC Barcelona. That is a done deal. That is also confirmed. Arsenal have also missed out on Ilkay Gundogan. But I can confirm that Mateo Kovacic going to Manchester City will mean that City, even if they wanted to sign a player with a profile or in the profile of Declan Rice, they'll have to go with someone else. They might go with a £50 million signing or a £60 million signing. At the moment, their real target, their priority target is Josko Gvardiol from RB Leipzig, who will cost in excess of 80 million euros. Pay up Manchester City, please do. I want you to run bankrupt. So that is what is happening with the Declan Rice deal. And it's why Arsenal feel it's a deal that they are not going to rush. It's a deal that they are not going to be optimistic of completing in the next 48 hours or in the next 72 hours. On the Julian Timber deal, we are there alone. We are bidding 30 million and Ajax are saying no, and then we are the only bidder in the room, and then we raise our hand again and we go 35 and Ajax says no, and then we go 40 and the Ajax says maybe any more coins on top, and we go 42 and Ajax like, okay, bring that money. So because we are only rivaling ourselves on the Julian Timber deal, and the team that he's playing for has already had a gentleman's agreement with the player to leave, it is much more likely that Arsenal will complete the Julian Timber deal this week. Now, Arsenal are linked with Axel Disasi at Monaco. Axel Disasi is a player who is on top of the list for Manchester United. Now that Kim Min-jae has agreed verbally to join Bayern Munich. I just don't even understand that story of Kim Min-jae and how Manchester United fans are coping up with it. Because one, you agree personal terms with Kim Min-jae, and then eventually he agrees personal terms with Bayern, but none of you can sign him because his release clause has not become active yet. And it just doesn't make any sense anyway. But so Arsenal have been linked with Axel Disasi. Man United are leading that race, and I know what is happening here. What is happening here is because all these other clubs are looking at Arsenal, and agents are looking at Arsenal as a rich club now, or a club that has the spending power. We might not be that rich, but we now have the spending power, courtesy of the previous seasons where we've been very, very cautious of our spending habits. I think everyone will try to insert a story that Arsenal are interested in their player just to raise the price. But I think also Monaco are trying to push Manchester United into paying the money that they would like. I won't be surprised if Manchester United panic and pay around 40-45 million pounds for Axel Disasi, rather than the actual 30 or 35 million they could actually get him for. Now, don't get me wrong, Axel Disasi is such a very, very good player, like huge centre back. You know those centre backs that are huge? Those are players I really like. But I don't think he's joining Arsenal. I think our priority is a player that can invert into midfield, a player that can invert as a midfielder, and that is either Mohamed Simakan or Gilles Timber on top of that list. So Disasi, I kind of see this one as a move to drive Manchester United's, deal crazy. Monaco are interested in signing Thomas Partey. They can't pay the money we want. I mean, look, Monaco are never gonna spend in excess of 45 million on a 30-year-old. We know that, but I think what they're looking at as a club is they want to convince Thomas Partey against going to the Saudi Arabia to playing European football. Now, Monaco last season didn't have a very, very poor season. But for me, I look at Monaco as the second to PSG. They should be the second to PSG, right? I think they have the history to sign a player like Partey. They've signed Ramadel Falcao before. And they've had some good talents in Kylian Mbappe and the others. But Arsenal will be looking for in excess of 60 million euros. Monaco won't be able to pay us that. And if Partey is going to leave, he lives for a significant fee. For me, he lives for a significant fee. We don't let him go for pennies. He must live for very, very good money, right? So Monaco interested. Saudi Arabia proposals already on the table for Partey and Arsenal. Let's wait and see where that one is going to end. And it has also been confirmed that Arsenal will make more signings. After spending 200 million, we will make more signings after player sales, okay? So we have the 100 million for Declan Rice, the 100 million for Kai Havertz and Gilles Timber. And after that, we will make more signings, including Romeo Lavia, after selling some players in this summer. I'll see you right in the next one. It's going to be a lot of content today, if nothing changes. So make sure you're always subscribed, you're always turning on the notification bell, and always tune in.